Brand new show that's all about solving high stakes cases thanks to the mind of a behavioral scientist professor. Now here's a look at Jesse L. Martin in The Irrational.
If it started on the main floor, like she said,
fire spreads out and up. But look at the upper story. It's nearly untouched versus the basement, which looks like
my old charcoal grill. That's why the fire shot up through the floor at them. It must have started down below.
poor Izzy.
paraffin could also be camp fuel. I think it was poured out and lit in the basement.
That'd be arson then.
And since Chris died, that would also make it a homicide.
Very dramatic. Jesse L. Martin joins us now live to talk about his new show. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, the show premiered last night on NBC. Set the scene for everyone and tell us about your character, Alec Mercer. And he's a character that's all about human behavior.
Absolutely. Well, I play, as you said, Alec Mercer, who is a behavioral scientist and a professor at our TV university called Wilton, where I'm called in a lot to help out the FBI, local authorities, even corporations to figure out crimes and mysteries using my skills at watching behavior and inspiring behavior and taking all those things I learn on the field back home and to my students at the university.
All right, so the whole thing about Alec being a behavioral scientist is that he notices things that others may not notice. So what do you enjoy about playing someone like Alec?
Well, getting to learn all those things, like, you know, I'm certainly an actor, so I've watched people's behavior, but I've never watched it so intently, and I certainly didn't know there were scientific syndromes or terms or anecdotes. So suddenly I'm getting to feel like I really am a behavioral science expert. And so is everybody else on our show, because we're all learning these lessons at the same time, which is what we hope we give to the audience. They all get to be behavioral scientists too, and watch all the things and peoples in their lives.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I could see myself being one of those people that because I watch like a season of your show, that I all of a sudden am a master of people's behavior, which is fun.
You're an expert, right?
Exactly. That's what these shows are all about. But how does the show play out and connect one episode to the next as we see Alec go from case to case?
Yeah, well, there is an overarching case that connects every episode where Alec was involved in a church bombing where he was the only victim that lived in this church bombing. The big mystery is who was responsible for it. So every episode you get to see us work on that case too, and I get help from everybody in my life. My ex-wife, my sister, my students, and for the audience, we will solve this case by the end of this season.
Okay, well, listen, Alec must be doing something right if he can get his ex-wife to help out in solving the case after they're no longer married. He's got to be an interesting guy. All right, well, you're someone who has done everything from film to stage and television. Do you find that you like any one above the others?
Well, I'm always going to say theater to that answer. Like, that's how I grew up. That's how I learned how I do what I do. And it's a place I always rush to go back to.
Okay. Well, now, so I have to ask, is there any chance that we're going to see Alex sing in The Irrational?
I don't know. People ask me that a lot, but I'm not sure if it's appropriate for this guy. And maybe if you did, he's probably not good.
Oh, okay. Not Alec himself. I get it. Well, Jesse, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's our pleasure anytime. You can watch The Irrational Mondays at 10 right here on Local 4.